Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, nice to meet you all. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Fidya Afiyatusyifa. You can call me Fidya. I'm a magister student of the Education Department 2019 from Faculty Mathematics and Science, Education University, Indonesia. Today, I'm going to present my paper, which has a title, Profile of Senior High School Student Learning Experiences and Assessment in the Context of Epistemic Science on the Content of COVID-19 Pandemic. But before we start our presentation, I would like to show you the topic of these presentations. And divided into 5 topics, there are introductions, method, result, discussion, and for the last one, it's about the conclusions. So we're going to move into the topic number 1 about the introductions of this research. This study is based on the state of COVID-19 pandemic that is attacking the world. As we know, from March 2020 until now, June 2021, we are still fight and struggling with the situations. What situation is that? Is that about the pandemic situations and causes by coronavirus disease, or what we often call as COVID-19, has affected all sectors of society, especially in the world of education. COVID-19 has caused an education crisis to spread all across the globe. This phenomenon was not expected by anyone. As a matter of fact, COVID-19 resulted in the closures of schools around the world, teaching staff, students, and all other aspects of school being variability, closed, or dismissed, which causes major impact. Emergency distance learning, or we can call it as PJJ, was immediately used as temporary solutions and became the main route adopted by school to reduce the education crisis caused by COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic forced schools to carry out distance learning and utilize technology and online application to achieve learning outcomes. Certain online applications used for online learning such as the Zoom application and several other applications. And then one of the challenge of the 21st century demands that people should acquire the scientific literacy skill, which become the basic of scientific thinking and scientific discoveries. Therefore, countries that are members of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or we can call it as OECD, are combined to organize and following as an assessment of learning, namely the Program for International Student Assessment, or we can call it as PISA. The next one is about the assessment. The assessment is an important tool for measuring the student understanding of learning concept. These assessments are integrated with the sophistications or information technology such as being developed in the form of online applications or using various other online application platforms. And then the epistemological science assessment in this research referred to PISA 2018 framework complied by the OECD 2019. And for the last one is about the student experience, were also examined related to the learning experiences and student experiences of the epistemological science assessment that had been obtained and connected in the real situations. In this case, the existence of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the next one we're going to discuss about the method of this research. This research method is used was quantitative and quantitative descriptive study using the stratified random sampling technique according to the result of the national examination, or we can call it as UN, in Bandung. The students who participate in these activities came from high school, public and private school selection is carried out by looking the student UN scores in Bandung City. And the participants in this study were about the grade 11 student consisting of several public and private schools in Bandung. And then the student response will be reviewed based on the lesson plan and the student worksheet. And then related to the implementation of learning assessment they had during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then the next stage will be an analysis by the assessment documents based on the three scientific competencies. The first one is explaining Panamanian scientifically. The second one is about evaluating and designing scientific inquiry. And the third one is about interpreting data and evidence scientifically. So there will be concluded. There will be the all documents of assessment document will be concluded and we'll have the presentation, the percentage, from this formula, and we have the percentage about the document assessment. And this is the table number 1 about the list of the senior high school participants in the research. We have 6 schools. We are divided into the private and the state school, and this is the UN score, and this is the category. We have 2 schools from each category: good, fair, and the poor. Okay, and the next one is about the result and discussions. As you can see, we have a 3 table in here. The second table is about the school codes and assessment documents, proportions contained by LP, SW, FA, and SA from the 6 schools in the Bandung City and then the third table and the fourth table is the indicators. The table 3 is skill indicators of explaining phenomenon as scientifically. And for the table 4 is about skill indicators of interpreting data and evaluating scientifically. So these sources by PISA 2018. And the next one is about the result. So we have 2 graphs here. The figure 1 is show us about the percentage of explaining phenomenon scientifically skill. And for the figure 2 show us about the percentage of evaluating and designing scientific inquiry skill. We're going to move the figure 1. This is about the percentage of scientific skill, competency 1, about the explaining phenomena scientifically based on the studies of the ILP, SW, daily activities, FA, and SA. So, as you can see, there are 3 categories: LP, SW, and rubric. Rubric is contained by FA, UH, and SA. And same with the figure 2 is divided into 3 categories: LP, SW, and rubric. So the next one is we're going to about the percentage of overall suitability of assessment documents based on the 3 scientific competencies categories. So the figure 4 and figure 5 is overall percentage of the category. Based on the figure 5 and 4, the competencies of explaining phenomena scientifically is divided into 6 indicators. Its assessment document was received based on the 3 of the 6 indicators. So, as you can see, for explaining phenomena scientifically has a 64%. For the evaluating and designing scientifically inquiry have 74%, and for the last one is interpreting data and evidence scientifically has a 74%. And for the last one is about the percentage of students respond towards learning experience and assessment of scientific epistemology. This student learning experience on the implementation of online learning as well as on the application of epistemological science assessment are shown in figure 6 in here, and then studied based on LP and SW from Senior High School in Bandung City. The results show that the following percentage, number 1 is about 67% of students have gained learning experience that have been integrated with COVID-19 contact. And the second one is about 33% of students have not had learning experience that is integrated with the COVID-19 contact. And then based on the experience of the epistemological science assessment in this one, it shows that 50% of the students have had the experiences of the such assessment that is adjusted to scientific skill based on the PISA 2018. However, and the 50 of students also appropriates until they have not had the experiences of the epistemological science assessment. So this is about the student experience epistemological science assessment, and for this one is about the student learning experience. This is about the 67%, this is 33%, this is about the 50, and this is about the 50%. So the last one is about the conclusions. Based on all the explanations that we have been covered, it can be concluded that even though the implementation of learning and assessment have various obtained in this process, this not make teachers and students give up the situation. Various strategies have been taken in order to carry out the learning process so that they will remain as teachers and students who are up to date and ready to face various challenges of the 21st century. And the second one is the result of the study assessment documents that refer to PISA 2018 scientifically scale framework show that most of the schools have applied various scientifically. Thus, with all that has been conferred in this study, hopefully it can be useful for future researchers who want to examine more deeply and the same topic. So this is the conclusion about the presentations. I'm so sorry if there are any mistake in the presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.